Hello, everybody. We're about to get started. If you'd like to take your seats. Is that loud enough? Is that loud enough? Hello? Check, check. Yeah?
The full title.
Yep. All right, we're going to get started in just a moment. All right, thank you everybody for attending the 3rd annual Panther Pitch Shark Tank event competition. My name is Kylie Hershey. I am a senior and the president of our Enactus organization here at Plymouth State University. I'd like to start off by welcoming everybody and thanking you for taking the time to be here tonight. I'd like to give a special welcome to Robin Dorff, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. A special thank you for Gail Mears, Associate Provost, Paula Lee Hobson, Vice President of Advancement, Jason Moran, Dean of Enrollment Management, John Shyman, the Director of Development and Major Gifts, Ava Tyler, Annual Fund Director, and Jean Martin, Major Gifts Officer. Thank you all so much for attending tonight's event. So this is our 3rd year running the Panther Pitch. Very excited. It seems to keep growing each year, and it's going to be a great event tonight. I hope everyone's very excited. We have some great ideas about to be pitched. I wanted to give a little overview of Enactus and some of our accomplishments in the past few years. I started and joined the organization as a freshman, and I have been the president for the past 2 years. We have attended regional and national competitions, coming home with trophies every time. So if you had a chance to check out our Enactus table over there, you can see some of our very rewarding trophies from the competitions. We go and travel to Chicago for a regional competition and present some of the projects that we work on. So the Panther Pitch, we have presented at these competitions for the past 2 years, and Carrying Scoops as well. It's our been running for 4 or 5 years now. We pitched it the past 3 years at the competition, and I'll give a little background on each of our projects and some of our growth with them before we get started. So Caring Scoops is our ice cream for veterans project. We started with an idea, grew a partnership with the Common Man that helps with the production side. We completed the branding and the graphic design label and are now selling in 12 different locations, with all of the proceeds going directly to homeless veterans within our community. So if you see pints on campus or in the Common Man locations, those are our Caring Scoops pints supporting homeless veterans. We also launched a new project called Climb Above Addiction last spring, where we helped to support the opioid epidemic in New Hampshire. So we saw a need for support with addiction, and we hosted a climbing event at Reverie Rocks with the goal to raise $5,000. We exceeded that and rose $7,000 at the event. So we will be doing that again this spring, and we hope to double that money to go towards a scholarship at the Plymouth House to help someone go through treatment who otherwise could not afford it. So those are some of the big projects we've been working on. We're really excited to be here again with Panther Pitch and growing this great experience for young entrepreneurs like yourselves to pitch their ideas and grow new ventures. So thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to kick off the event. Eric Mazzola will now announce the judges.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to first give my personal congratulations to all our finalists. What's really inspiring about all of you that are here today is that you're all here on your own entrepreneurial spirit, which is really something special. So I'd like to have a round of applause for all our finalists here today. All right, and next I want to introduce each one of our esteemed judges, and as I call your names, please address the crowd. First, Susan Amsberg, Director, Whole Village Family Resource, Granite United Way. Thank you. Next, Pamela Diamantis, Partner, Curbstone Financial Manager Corps. Thank you for being here. Jessica Dutil, High Impact Learning Partner for PSU. Thank you for being here. Ben Long, Inventory Specialist, Blue Green Vacations, and also a PSU Enactus alumni. Thank you for being here. Jason Line, who unfortunately wasn't able to show up today. He is the COO of Flatbread Company. Next, Nick Maluski, Account Executive, Oracle, and DIN Founding President, another PSU Enactus alumni. Thank you for being here. Deb Narrow, Executive Director, Katie Inc., Communities for Alcohol and Drug-Free Youth. Thank you for being here. Anthony Oglesby, Owner of Fitness. Thank you for being here. Ron Porter, President, Porter Advisory Services. Thank you for being here. J.C. Richardson, Co-Founder, Angel Armor. Thank you for being here. Kimberly Smith, Talent Acquisition Manager, Enterprise Holdings Incorporated. Thank you for being here. And last but not least, Tim Woodland, co-owner Woodland Homeworks LLC, founder of VP, and PSU Enactus alumni. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys all for being here. I'm going to hand this off to Bonnie Bayshard, who's going to go over the rules and criteria.
So who's excited for this competition to start? Okay, well, let's get right to it. I'm going to review the competition rules and judging criteria. Each student or members of team will be given 2 minutes to pitch and 3 minutes for Q&A from the judges. The pitched idea must be the original work of the individual or team. Participants may display a prototype on this table or a poster on the easel. No handouts may be given to the judges. The use of PowerPoint slides or videos are not permitted. The judges will be scoring each finalist on the following criteria. Is the idea innovative and creative? Does it address an important business or social need? Are the consumers or beneficiaries clearly identified? And does the idea have the potential to be sustainable or profitable? We will be selecting the top 3 winners based on the scoring of the judges. The third place team will receive a cash prize of $500, second place $1,000, and the first place winner will receive an award of $1,500 to advance their idea. And the People's Choice Award this evening will be decided by all of you, the audience. Each of you will have a chance to vote for your crowd favorite, and the winner of that will receive a $500 award. So I hope you enjoy the competition and are inspired by the power of our young entrepreneurs to transform the world.
All right, so let's get started. Our first idea is pitched by Michael Townsend, and it is the Achilles flip-flop. He's a biology major and a junior here at Plymouth State. Michael, if you want to come on up.
Judges, may I just ask you, please, as you're scoring each finalist, would you please record your name in the upper right-hand corner? And this is just for accounting purposes so that when your score sheets are delivered to the scorers, that we have, in fact, collected all of the scoring sheets. Thank you very much.
You can use whichever one you'd like.
Hi, my name is Michael Townsend, and I started a company called Achilles LLP. So I think we can all agree that we all love flip-flops, but they pose a couple massive problems. The first is squeezing your toes to be able to walk. And that just has always been a problem for me, and I can't be athletic in them. I can't make accurate movements. They fall off my feet. So the first thing that you would want to do is go and buy a pair of sandals. But they're about $100 or can even be just as much as a pair of shoes. So they're really expensive. And so a buddy of mine and myself, we decided to create Achilles. And what this is it's a first flip-flop to sandal conversion on the market. It's comprised of 3 parts. The first part is the leather strap that provides comfort, and it's a 100% Montana cowhide. Second part is a shock cord, and that allows it to be flexible and elastic, as well as be dynamic throughout your stride. Our third part is this cam cleat clip that I personally designed, and it allows for on-the-fly adjustments of size and tightness. So you can just pop this right out, loosen it, tighten it, pop it right back in. And so you can do this without even taking off your flip-flop. And so I did this because I like having, just one pair of shoes to do everything. And in the summer especially, I hate carrying just a flip-flop, shoes, sandals, what have you. So I personally liked having the Achilles because I could walk around with one pair of shoes and do it all. We are currently in 3 retail stores right now in Bozeman, Montana. We've sold 60 pairs so far out of our, okay, yeah, thank you.
At this time, we can take some questions from the judges.
Works with all flip-flops. It's this model right here works better with like the nicer flip-flops, but what our new production run, and this is why I'm in the Panther Pitch, is to get funding for our new production run is for women's and kids sizes. So they would be smaller, less aggressive. They would use like this uses a 4mm cord right now. It would use a 3 and 2mm cord. But you know, can go on any flip flop. You just take it right off. Like I can take it right off right here, just like this. This comes right off. Yep. The cost? It costs $9.99 in stores. Yep.
Kind of add on to that. How much for the material? Strap.
So, how much have I designed?
No, just between all of it. Put together how much it costs to make.
Okay, yeah. So our prototyping run costs around $10 a pair, and that's again why we wanted to go to a more like we're trying to get an injection mold. We're trying to bring costs down by producing a little bit more because we only produced 250 for our first prototyping run. And the reason we didn't produce that many was we were doing it for market research as well. We wanted to figure out like how much they're willing to buy it for, and what have you. But yeah, $10 is what they want it for, and $2 if we had if we were able to mass produce it. That's how much we'd be able to produce it per pair.
Leather. Is it the leather only on the back strap and the little cord on the?
Yeah. So it's a leather on the back that just goes right around your Achilles, right around your heel. We chose leather mainly because it was an easy thing to prototype with. We were trying to also get into neoprene because it's more water friendly. But also leather is a waste product, and so there's like a lot of farmers out in Montana that are trying to get rid of leather because when their cow gets butchered and for meat or what have you, they need to get rid of the leather somehow. So that's why we're using it.
Who's your target market?
Our target market would be, according to our market research, it was anywhere between 18 and 35-ish-year-old male. But women have been showing more interest as long as we give different colors. So a lot of them said, oh, hey, we really like this. We just would want it in, like, do you have it in pink? Do you have it in blue? Like, this is our only color so far. So that is, again, why we want to go into mass production so we can produce different colors.
Thank you. We do ask that you use the microphones when presenting and answering questions. We do have this strap-on microphone as well to make that easier for when you come up. And the judges as well, if you use microphones. All right. All right. While we are collecting the judges' sheets, I'd like to invite up to the stage the next contestant, Case Merrick. He will be presenting the microphone boom pole. He is a computer science major and a first-year student. If you'd like to get ready to come on up.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Cool.
All right, is everybody ready? Perfect. You may begin.
So my name's Case Merrick. I've been a filmmaker for about a decade. And when it comes to film, seconds, like every minute counts. And the big thing that I've noticed is that the longest thing to take up is getting ready for sound. Sound is the most important aspect of film, and the fact that it takes multiple minutes to set up this huge, big boom pole, everything on it is just really inefficient right now. Not to mention the fact that it's also a mess. Putting it all together takes usually 2 people. And with my product, I want to get rid of that whole process. So instead of having this huge wire that wraps all the way around it and has this huge bunch at the end, which still needs to connect to this, which goes around you, and then plugs in, and it's just this huge, terrible mess that if you touch this wire as well, it can completely destroy the audio in the film in the first place. What I want to do is completely get rid of this cable and this and put it all into the end of the boom pole. So all you need to do is connect your own microphone, connect it just to the edge, and the wire will run through inside, connecting to an external recorder inside the device itself. So instead of having this mess, you'll have something clean and will break down in seconds and set up in seconds as well, which will save time in all sorts of film, indie to professional.
We can give you a minute to break that down before questions if you want.
You guys can ask questions on that.
Okay, we can begin.
First question is, what would be the benefit of your product versus a wireless setup?
So a wireless setup right now is still a little behind. So instead of hearing, if the person's listening to it, listening to through it, you'll hear a few, not seconds, but like half a second to a quarter of a second behind. Not to mention that wirelessly, it could distort the audio as well. So a fully wired setup would still be a lot more beneficial right now.
And do you have a way for the cord to retract?
Yes, it'll be big enough so that it'll be coiled up, so that when you extend it, it'll uncoil and coil itself back up. It'll just keep itself there.
I'm wondering if you consider the cost of putting together your prototype, and then long term, what the product itself will cost to make.
Yeah, right now, I'm not fully sure on all the products, but on average, the full setup should be about $400 to $500, which seems like a lot, but for film, it's not too bad.
What's the cost of that setup?
This full setup, not counting the mic, but with the external recorder and the boom pole and the cable, is about $400.
So what would your next steps be if you won today?
Next step would be to figure out what PCB, like a printed circuit board, how I can fit that into an actual boom pole and work out the logistics of how that would work.
One more quick question. Do you plan on being cheaper than the competition, or do you see this as being a higher valued product?
If I could be cheaper than the competition, then I absolutely will. But with the way things are going, it seems like I'll be about even with them.
I mean, see, it's on now. Yeah, it seems like it would maybe be a premium product. You think you could probably sell it for more?
I think I could, yeah, absolutely. I would like to target it towards indie developers as well, people who don't have a ton of money to be able to do that. So I would like to keep it cheaper for them, but I'm not sure yet.
My nephew worked for Ken Burns,
Really?
and now he's out on his own. And he's one of the problems he always speaks to is carting around all the equipment, and it's just amazing.
It's a mess.
So
with my product, I wouldn't even need this bag. I would just have this.
right. I think he would love this.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the size of the current market?
Yeah, so right now there are no, first of all, there's no such thing as a boom pole with an external recorder inside it. There are a lot of boom poles out there. There's a lot of options. Rode is my personal favorite, but oh.
That's time.
Sorry.
Thank you. All right. The third pitch of the night will be a remote operated vehicle to explore mesopelagic zone, presented by Chris Blair, a computer science major and a senior here at Plymouth State. Chris. Do you need help setting up? Yeah. You can help. You can help me over here.
Yeah.
Is it on? Did you turn it on? There's a little switch on.
Test.
Yep.
Ooh, that's me.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. You may begin.
All right. So there's a common saying that goes, we know more about our solar system than our own oceans. This makes sense because only 5 to 10% of the oceans have been explored. Now, I want you to imagine a child that lacks inspiration and motivation in school and in his life. They then receive a submarine kit from their school or parents. And after they build it, they feel accomplished, they're ready to go, they decide to deploy it in like a lake or let's say an ocean. And while watching the live feed on their monitor from the surface, they decide to maneuver the submarine once they reach the mesopelagic zone. And that is when the sunlight does not penetrate the water anymore. And they come across a goblin shark, and they see that on the monitor using a device that they made. This could be a goblin shark, you know, even something that doesn't even, we don't even know exists yet. And that would change their outlook on themselves and, the world forever. It would change their lives forever. Unfortunately, this is not possible today because in order to get a submarine that can go down that far and, have a camera on it would cost thousands of dollars. That's why I created the Fringe Finder. It's the first affordable and customizable submarine. and it focuses on modularity and the ability to really put it together yourself, like Legos. I put this together for less than $100. Oh, wow. Okay.
That's time. All right, the floor is open to questions.
Love this. I think it's great. I have 3 kids. I would like to purchase one for the holiday season. So thank you. And I really appreciated your emphasis on the social impact as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if this became a big trend and families worldwide were purchasing your product, if there would be any negative impacts on the ocean and what materials, you know, it's made out of, and how can you ensure that it gets back to the child and the family?
Yeah. So the bad thing about submarines, remote operated submarines, is signals can't penetrate the water farther than like a few inches. So they need to be tethered, and in that tether would need to be all of the cords with that. And so it's likely going to be a very strong tether to like hold everything together and to withstand the pressure from the water. So it's very unlikely that it's going to snap or anything. And if they lose control of it, you can just reel it back up. But if it does get lost, that is a concern. Building it out of environmental friendly parts is definitely smart. But yeah, we would definitely make sure of that.
What would be your cost for production, and what do you anticipate selling it for?
So we could really undercut the market like without even trying, just because if you go online, most of them are around like $4,000 or $5,000 or way more. Since this cost me less than $100, and for the additional parts of like the buoy system on the surface and the tether, with everything it would be around $200 to $250. And you could easily sell it for $400 to $500, I really think. The same price as like a game console or a good like drone that are so popular these days.
Being down so deep in the ocean, pressurization is a thing. And so how would that address, you know, what types of materials or what components would you need?
If you build it right, all you would need is Schedule 40 PVC pipe. You would have to do the joints correctly and make sure that there's no leaks, but narrow Schedule 40 PVC pipe can withstand hundreds of pounds of pressure per square inch, and that alone is enough. That's why making it simple is a really smart idea. It saves on cost and prevents the possibilities of leaks from, you know, random areas. So.
Do you have any intellectual property on this? Or?
No. No. Right, thank you.
That is time. Thank you.
Oh, that's not it.
Do you want to make a? Do you want me to? Yeah.
I wasn't 100% clear on that. That was one of the things
I'll introduce you, and then we'll just switch. You can stand behind me if you want. All right. Our next pitch is a Freshwater Well by Monica Manny, a marketing major and senior. Monica?
The African country of Uganda's population is 35 million, with 90% of the population living in small villages of less than 1,000. 2/3 of these, or roughly more than 20 million, do not have access to clean drinking water. My idea is to partner with the nonprofit organization Engineers Without Borders in all 79 New England Market Basket locations. The EWB is a current program to provide water collection, treatment, and storage in Iganga, one of the poorest districts in Uganda. My project focuses on the water collection aspect. An $8,500 donation will allow EWB to create and install a water well that will provide clean water for an entire village, which is around 1,000 people, like I said. My approach to Market Basket, with support of EWB, is to donate 10 cents for each case of water sold from June to August. My appeal to Market Basket would be a corporate social responsibility project. So why Uganda? Water is so fundamental. It's a need for everyone on this planet. On the daily, people are walking miles to load up a 40-pound container of murky swamp water. This can cause population to suffer from malaria, get sick from other bacteria, and which can cause diarrhea, which is actually specifically 17% responsible, which is responsible for 17% of children's deaths in Uganda. Market Basket's water sales volume is unavailable at this time, but a reasonable estimate would be 100 cases a week per store. Within this 3-month period of collecting money, total case sales would be over 100,000 cases. If Market Basket donated 10 cents a case, the EWB would receive around $10,000, which is enough money to build a well and enough to provide for 1,000 people. This is an important social need, and this donation will save lives while giving these people a future of their own. Thank you. Do I take the mic or sit? Or should I stay? Okay.
So with what would you use this winnings for in terms of to be able to further pitch this to the Market Basket, or what would that go to? It wouldn't quite cover the cost of the well.
Wait, can you repeat that?
If you won this event,
yeah,
what would that money go towards to further this idea?
I was gave that a little bit of thought. I was thinking maybe just putting that towards the donation, to add to, because 100 cases is a week is kind of like a really a low ball estimate. So it probably would be more money. It could be 100 cases a day, and that could turn to maybe like 3 wells in like a month. You know what I mean? So definitely like the money adding up for $8,500 would definitely make a difference. Yeah.
Where did you get your information on the cost of the well, and did you look at any what production acceptance of it? I'm sure obviously it's a strong need out there, but kind of once it's out there, what would that process be?
That information was from the Engineers Without Borders. They have a chapter in New Hampshire. So that's where that information was from. The $8,500 goes to the collection and the storage and basically like the water testing, like making sure like all the levels are right, and making sure it's clean and healthy. I'm unsure of the whole process of how they install it and all that, but it has been done in the past by this group, and it has been a sustainable, ongoing well. So I'm sure that they have that all under control.
How do they fundraise right now?
So right now they're just kind of doing, smaller stage kind of things, like being at restaurants. They'll kind of have like you can add a donation on the end of like a their receipt when they're checking out. But so this would be kind of more like a corporate, more corporate way of raising money. More larger scale, since Market Basket is such a big grocery industry, I guess.
I just want to thank you for your work on this because excuse me, I believe that we need more leaders in the world to really consider social impact and to take social action. So thank you for considering all of that.
Thank you.
I have one more question. Yeah. Did you say you had a Market Basket already that you were talking to?
No, I have been kind of in contact with the only one in my town, London, New Hampshire. I've been kind of talking to that manager. I'm family friends with them, and just kind of I told them about the idea. They said that they would be this would be something that they would be open to, a local request like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up we have a social media app called Bar Raider, presented by Chris Desir, a marketing major and a junior, and Matt Delizio, an innovation and entrepreneurship major and a senior here. Take it away.
So, our idea that we were willing to pitch to you is essentially a mobile application on your phone called Bar Raider. And this app allows you to have an amazing night out everywhere you go, whether you are familiar with this area or not. So let me create this scenario for you. Say you and your friends are in Boston or in any city in the world for that matter. It may be your first time, it may not, but you're not sure what you're willing to do. And sometimes finding what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there is an issue sometimes, especially when alcohol is involved. So, thanks to Bar Raider, you will have an effortlessly arranged path or night in the palm of your hands. Whether you have a specific budget that you're trying to fit, or a specific dynamic or atmosphere that you're trying to go to, whether that's music or something like that, Bar Raider will have that for you. There are countless features that we have on this app, one being Uber estimates. Another one would be a lit meter, explaining how packed the bar is and just guess how popping the bar is, if you will. And another one is a button that we will include called the Dope or Nope button that Chris will explain a little bit in a minute. That's another favorite one of our features. And another feature that's one of my favorites is our path system. So whether you're starting at a bar and you finish at another bar in another town, or however you get there, you have the ability to pass that path on to your friends for another night, with the ability to give feedback to maybe make that amazing night a perfect night. And here you are, Chris.
I have the mic right here. All right, the Dope or Nope button is one of my favorite parts of the app because. Oh, it's fine. You guys are harsh with the cutoffs. Sorry.
First question: what's the Dope or Nope button there?
Okay, thank you. The Dope or Nope button is a button we have that's going to display a percentage of reviews at the bar from live patrons that are already there to give an in-depth look at how the bar is doing right then and there, and if you should actually go.
Do you have any emergency features on the app just in case something happens at that bar to warn people?
No, we do not. We haven't given that much thought yet.
Have you asked any local bars around to see if they would be willing to partner with you to look at occupancy rate and such? We
haven't asked them yet, but we've been looking to license this out to other bars so they can help gain relevance and also retain relevance, I guess, and gain exposure.
What would the business model side of the app look like? How would you make money?
We make money by.
That was something that was in the process that we were figuring out how we were going to do, because I guess our issue with this app would be how would our finding a tool that we need to extract all the data that's already out there in the internet and incorporating that into a platform. So that's still something that we are, I guess, brainstorming about or in the process of thinking about.
Well, one of the ways is to start with marketing. You can market local businesses on your app, as well as it's all about user count. So it's always got to be free. So build up your user base, and then you can market off of that.
Thank you.
Maybe offer like a free drink. So this is like a night by night, almost like a promoter for the night in a way, right?
Essentially, in an app.
Night by night. Maybe offer like a free drink or something to get people to go there. So that's when everyone else kind of flocks to it. Am I right?
Exactly.
Are you? Do you mean flock to what? Flock to the app?
To the bar. It sounds like it's like each night, people will rate it, and so other people might look at that and be like, that bar is a good place to go to that night. And maybe the bar can say, hey, come here and you get a free drink when you're through the app.
We're thinking of implementing a system on the app where you get to skip the line at the bar if you use the app.
Yeah.
And another feature is you can see how long the line is from our app.
Now, are you guys working with each bar individually, or are you guys taking aggregated data from online and pushing that to the app?
So the end goal would be to have relationships with these businesses, to be able to work back and forth. The whole idea of having this path is so you can give feedback on your night. So that's not only able to help the customer, but the business itself. They have ways of seeing what they need to improve and what might make that amazing night perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up we have Milker Bloomberg with the Panther Pitch for high school students. And he is a marketing major here and a senior. So, Milker.
Thanks. Hello? Yep. Good. Put this a little higher. There we go. Okay, yeah. My name is Milker Bloomberg. I'm a marketing and professional sales student here, and I'm a senior, like Kylie said. I could just start these 2 minutes off by talking about what my app is and all the what's and when's. But I'm actually going to start off by talking about the why, because I think that that's the most important aspect of my idea. The Panther Pitch first got developed through a needs assessment by the Enactus team, finding out that there is a sharp decline in 20 to 29-year-olds in New Hampshire since the 90s. I want to take this idea one step further. PSU is going through some drastic changes right now and needs help with attracting high school students to apply, as well as to showcase what the university is actually about. With not only going on campus tours, my idea is a way for PSU to recruit and retain high school students. Not only this, but it will benefit PSU by changing the way that the high school students view the university, that we're more than just a skiing and snowboarding school in the middle of the mountains, that we're actually a school that provides great opportunity and resources for students. So now you're probably wondering what my idea actually is. So the idea is to expand the Panther Pitch and host 2 separate competitions, one for PSU students like this one, and then one for high school students. This will teach them at a very early age how to develop and also how to pitch an idea, which will be extremely important in any career that they decide to pursue. It'll also give them an amazing opportunity to network with everyone that would be here tonight. So it would be students, faculty, alumni. It would give them the possibility to create relationships with people that they hopefully would spend the next 4 years of their lives with. And the second step of my idea is to partner with the new high school accelerator program that PSU is actually starting next semester. So I would want to introduce a class for all high school Panther Pitch finalists to take a course here at Plymouth State for half the tuition. Much like the Apex program that everyone here will get an offer from, it would be a course regarding business and steps to how to kickstart their ventures and actually make this idea into a reality. Thank you.
Great idea.
Thank you.
For anybody that has high schoolers out there, reaching them is a tough gig. But
Yeah.
So what would you do to go to a high school? What would your process be? What would your plan be?
Well, so to make this project sustainable, I would want to start locally. So I would probably start with only the Plymouth High School. Work with the Enactus team. I'm a part of the Enactus team. So as a senior, I'm unfortunately graduating, but probably next semester I'd start taking the steps right away of starting this new competition to go to the Plymouth High School here, try and build a relationship there and see if there's something that they would be interested in, and then probably move towards the counties closest to Plymouth and see if it's something interesting and kind of pitch it as an awesome opportunity for students to both learn how to pitch and develop an idea. I'm sure there's so many amazing ideas in high school students' brains like there is from the Plymouth students. So I would just pitch it as an amazing idea because I've also talked to a lot of local Plymouth kids and students from Plymouth that haven't even been to the university here. So it would just be an awesome time for them, network with everyone, network with faculty, alumni, learn a lot of new things. So
I think my question also, just to get a little bit more dialed down, like, would you hold an assembly? Would you work with FBLA or a DECA, student group, or talk to, like, 'cause just going to a school and trying to talk to students? Would you hold a table in the CAF? Did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about a lot of different opportunities, but I mean, we're reaching out through social media a lot here with Enactus, and we're reaching out to going into classrooms. I would work with my entire Enactus team, so it wouldn't only be me going into these classrooms, but like I said, I would start with the Plymouth High School, probably try and find the right person to talk to there and see if that would be something that they would be willing to host and to help me promote, maybe tell all the teachers to say that in their classes. We could come into we could come in and talk to most of the classes during the day. Our Enactus team is growing, so I hope that this would be something that we could manage, definitely.
This is your app, so after you graduate, how do you see yourself still controlling this app, and how does it incorporate PSU?
Yeah, so like I said, yeah, I am graduating, but I still have a whole next semester to kind of figure out what the blueprint would be. It would be very much like this event, so it would probably be just the next day or probably just before this one. So I mean, it would be the same type of setup. I would be able to use the blueprint that we've been using for this event and been so successful with, and just, yeah, use that for the high school students.
I have a question. Have you thought about a vision of perhaps having a statewide, opening this up statewide, like a robotics competition similar in nature?
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's something like the college admission office would be interested in, as well as high schools across the state.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, my goal, like I said, oh, thank you. Thanks.
All right, we have one more idea after this before we have a brief intermission. The next idea to be presented is a disposable pillowcase, presented by Brianna Warnick, a business administration major and a senior at Plymouth State. Test. You may begin.
My idea is an easier and less expensive way of cleaning a small animal's cage. This could be for rabbits, guinea pigs, ferrets, or any animal that falls into that category. As a guinea pig owner, I hated using bedding or shavings because it is messy, very expensive to fill the entire cage, and can cause respiratory issues in small animals because of the dust. So I started using these pads to cover the bottom of their cage. But I realized that my guinea pigs weren't very comfortable laying on it, and it didn't absorb very well in the area that they slept in. So I wanted to give them a bed, but this would get really dirty with their hay or droppings, and I would have to wash it 3 times a week to keep up with it so that they would be clean and healthy. So I came up with a disposable pillowcase. So you just put it over it like this. And when it becomes dirty, you just wrap it up and throw it away. There's no need to scoop shavings or anything like that. So you may ask, is there a demand for this? Well, I worked in a pet store for 2 years, and I would constantly listen to customers complain about how tedious it is to keep up with the cleaning of their cages. So with my product, your animal will be clean, comfy, and happy. This is my guinea pig named Sugar, and this is him peacefully sleeping in his bed. You will save time, energy, and money because with my product, you will save $50 a month. $50 a month if you use my product instead of bedding. Thank you.
What are the costs with this product in comparison to shavings, and what does it cost? What would you sell it for?
That's a great question. So say you have a 2 foot by 4 foot cage. one package of large bedding on average costs $20 to fill that size of the cage, and you have to change that once a week. So that's 20 times 4 weeks equals $80. With my product and method, it is $15 for 30 of those pads, and about 2 of them would fill that cage, and you change them every other day, so that's like 30 days. And then for the pillowcases would be around $10 so for 30 of them, so that's $25, so that's about $50 in savings a month, $600 a year.
What is the material you use on the cover, and how available is that in terms of supply chain?
Yep, so I actually made my first prototype out of this. So this is actually an adult pad that you would put on an elderly's bed or something, so that's what I did make it out of. I would like to eventually make it out of like recycled newspaper in the future when I get further on with my idea.
It's a great idea. I just have a question. Does that totally eliminate the need for shavings? It seems to me like they would still need shavings for, you know, to absorb urine and other matter.
Yep, so I'm still working on the design, but like a lot of the times the drop-ins kind of fall off the edge, so that way they're not just like sitting in it where it would be on this flat area. So then, so it's not as bad as that.
I think it's a really good idea. I've got a puppy myself that I have to put in a cage for 7 hours while I'm at work, and it's a problem sometimes. What type of sizing is it going to come in? Because dogs are, you know, Chihuahua all the way up to a Great Dane. So.
Yep. So my focus right now is on small animals. So obviously I could have like small, medium, large, but I could look into larger market like for dogs and stuff. But I would have to probably research further for that.
Is there anything existing like this in pet stores or for consumers?
I've done a lot of research. I haven't seen anything like that, and I worked in a pet store, so that's why I came up with it.
Would there be a way to make sure that no competition came in and stole your idea?
So that's a big reason why I entered this. I need money for a patent, so I think that would be the next step for me.
I'm not sure if it was addressed, but how much would you sell it for?
All right, at this time we're going to take an intermission. So we still have food in the back. Get up, stretch your legs, and we'll be back with some more great ideas.
Catching up.
I see that. When you see me put mine out, you start right.
All right, everybody, if you'd like to make your way back to your seats, we will continue the pitches shortly.
Last question is key. It's the toughest one.
No, I know. You're right. It doesn't help anyone if it's not sustainable or doesn't make money.
No, I did.
Not that it has
Yeah,
a profit.
I don't think it was around. Like the big thing was like the sales competition with
charity.
I forget his name.
Yeah,
the
but
professor.
charities are sustainable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was the big thing. That's a bunch of the guys on the hockey team when focused their business degree on that. And I was just always wanted finance. I'm not a big finance guy, but I'm like, I need to learn it.
That's why I think I recommend
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. That's really cool. Yeah, they
Tally
hand out the big
scores
checks.
as we go.
Yeah.
You may not remember all of them. So.
That's why I did so well.
Yeah. I don't even know if I have the diploma. Somewhere. Yeah. You didn't ask for it when you hired yourself.
I was going to get the job.
Yeah.
There is an end somewhere.
It's true. It's true. I tend to be a generous explorer. Just love everybody.
I'm really involved in
No, it's hard because you don't get to compare. Yeah. I hear that.
I just didn't know what is the connection. Something's already in mind, you just kind of jump right in on versus recreating. That's an awesome idea though.
All right, to kick off the second half of the competition, we have a specialized restaurant menu presented by Heather Thompson, a philosophy and anthropology major. Heather?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I would like to begin this pitch by taking you on an adventure. As a child, like many children, I was in love with fictional literature. It was more than just a fantasy to me. It was my reality. I would live, breathe, dream anything of it. I loved all of it. As a child, I really wanted to visit or even live in these places. Unfortunately, I couldn't make that journey, and I still can't. But I would like to, with my idea, bring the idea to you people in a real form, bring it to reality, if you will. My idea for a restaurant menu would be to take all of these magical places that you've heard of and to bring the food items from them back to our world and present them at a restaurant. These items would range from anything from butterbeer in Harry Potter or cakes from Lord of the Rings, and it would already be an item that people were familiar with, but they never actually had the opportunity to taste yet. This would be a scalable model because it could come in the form of a menu in a book and could possibly be made into a food truck and then a restaurant itself. This place would be called Enchanted Reverie because it would be bringing the daydream to you, and it would want to bring food, family, and fantasy together. It wouldn't just be for children, it would be for adults, it would be for anybody who loved fiction and wanted to bring a little taste of that home to their lives. Thank you.
I love this, and I can't wait to go to your food truck or your restaurant. I'm wondering if you were to win this evening, what your next steps would be in terms of how would you apply the money?
Yes. So I have actually put some thought into this. I would like to start, rather than starting with a restaurant, which would be an enormous down payment to start with. I'd like to start with a book to introduce people to the idea more fully, to showcase what kind of items we could bring to this restaurant, and thereby gain a social media following. With the money, I would use that for research trips to areas or online things. I may need to use some licensing. It would also cost about $200 to $300 to publish a first set of books, about 4,000 of them, and that would be what that money would go to start.
Do you see it more as though a physical location, or would you almost set a menu that could be passed from restaurant to restaurant?
So I would like to have a physical location ultimately. However, I know that is a large startup, and so I would like to start with something that could be moved around and portable so that people could come to the idea of themselves once it had been established as an idea itself.
Have you spoken with any chefs or restaurants to see the feasibility of this and see kind of an initial need or a want in the market?
So I actually haven't talked to any restaurants about this. A lot of this idea comes largely from the fact that we have such a large media base in our society today, and it's largely, there is a very large cultural consuming of that kind of thing. And I think that this idea would do very well in a city where there are a lot of people both living and traveling to.
What other items beyond the butterbeer and the Lord of the Ring cakes would you anticipate offering?
So I think that a lot of the menu items would also have to be market researched into what were the most popular movies, TV shows, films of the current time period, which would also be how the menu would rotate in and out. If, say, the Game of Thrones was very popular for a season or two, then you would get a lot of menu items themed around food that was either displayed in the show or discussed during the book, and that would kind of be the theme of it. Not all of them would have to be strictly from the book. They may just be highly themed from food that was mentioned or talked about.
Something more specific like butterbeer, did you give any thought to like the intellectual property aspect of it to be able to use something without having permission or paying royalties?
Yes. So a lot of these foods wouldn't be licensed foods. The smaller items, butterbeer maybe because it's particularly one that they use at like Universal Studios for Harry Potter, but smaller food items from those series, we would pay licensing as needed. However, not all of these items would be strictly, they'd be used in the fandom, but they might have been inspired by outside influences.
Thank you. Our next pitch is by Molly Timmons. It is an addiction recovery app. Molly is a marketing major and a senior here. Molly?
1 minute.
Oh. Fun moment.
Just this.
All right. You may begin.
All right. Hello, everyone. First off, I'm going to start off with a fact. So did you know that New Hampshire has the second highest rate of opioid-related deaths per capita in the nation? Every day in New Hampshire, at least one person dies from an opioid overdose. My idea is the New Hampshire Recovery app. This app is going to be involved with just New Hampshire so far. So all recovery centers in New Hampshire will have access to this app. After treatment, they will offer this app to their patients who are going on to the next steps of treatment, and their families and friends that are also deeply affected by this epidemic. The goal of this is every day you have the option to send a positive or inspirational story or moment onto this app. These stories are then screened and then sent out to other people who have the app in your community. The goal for this is positive psychology. Positive psychology is a study of what makes life most worth living. So my goal is to take this positive psychology and influence people that have been affected by this epidemic. The goal of this app is that when you receive these messages, you will have a more positive outlook on life. This app is a tool used to engage others affected by this social issue and to support those in the path to recovery. So like I said, I want to start in New Hampshire. So my first goal is to start at the Plymouth House, which is a rehab facility right in our community. A simple message can go a long way in making someone stay, and it may only take 21 days to change someone's life. Thank you.
Thank you for this idea. I mean, recovery from addiction is a daily battle. So to be able to have that type of positive affirmation and support is really essential to finding recovery and maintaining it. I work in the field, so we're also opening a recovery center in Plymouth at Whole Village, the Plymouth Area Recovery Connection. So please connect with us because we would like to chat with you more about this.
Thank you so much.
So you had mentioned people will actually be screening these messages.
Right.
Who would do that after X amount of time? You guys obviously want to grow. What kind of resources would you guys need for that?
Right, so right now this is just an idea that I've come up with myself, but eventually if I were to win the prize money, I would create a group of people that were passionate about this as much as I am, and we could start this business and then create people that could actually do the screening process, because we don't want just anybody being able to send out any kind of messages to someone. Thank you.
I also love this idea, and I think it's really wonderful that you're leaning heavily on positive psychology, and research has proven that not only is it beneficial for the person receiving the message, but certainly for the person sending the message, there is a positive impact as well. So well done. This was really well thought through.
Thank you so much.
So are you seeing this at this point as a purely volunteer effort? I mean, how would you have these people, what resources would you need to keep this going for the long haul?
Right, so there's a couple options I've thought of to fund this project. First off, obviously apps are funded through advertising. So we could have advertisements through it so that we could make it free to the recovery centers. But also with the bigger recovery centers, we could sell them this app, and then there's a certain amount of people that they are able to distribute to use the app.
Have you given thought to maybe employing some people that have been through the process, even used the app and have recovered, and they could probably help you promote it in a way that someone maybe that hasn't battled addiction could?
Absolutely. So we actually already have connections with the Plymouth House, which I said is the rehab facility in our community. So Matt Howe, who's the director of there, we have already worked with him with another project, Climb of Addiction, which Kylie has mentioned at the beginning. So this is definitely something that I would look more into to see if he had the resources to create a group to work on this with me. Thank you.
All right, our next pitch of the night is an app to share a mobile plan, presented to you by Emil Cedarblad. I don't know if I said that right. Marketing major here and a senior. Emil.
Hello. All right. Yeah. So my name is Emil Cedarblad. That was correct, Kelly. Thank you. I'm actually from Stockholm, Sweden, and I came here to Plymouth to study and play football. One of the first things I noticed when I came to the U.S. was how expensive your cell phone plans are. Actually, it turns out that the U.S. has one of the highest cell phone plan rates in the world. So I gave a little thought to this, and it turns out you can share plans. You can have a family plan, or you can just share a plan with a certain amount of people. to reduce your monthly payments. This is all great if you actually have a bunch of friends where you can do this with, but what if you don't know anyone that you want to share it with? So my idea is an app called Share the Plan, where you can locate family, friends, and strangers to actually that actually wants to go in together with you and share a mobile plan to drastically reduce your monthly payments. An example of this could be in the app. You could go in and see the different cell phone providers, what plans they offer, how much it costs, how many gigabytes you can have each month. And I went into AT&T and I found that they have a plan called Unlimited or More. And if I would alone get that plan, it would cost me $80 a month. But if I would share that plan with 5 other people, the total would come down to $215. If you split that among 5 people, that is $43 a month each, and you would actually save $37 a month. And this brings me to another part of the app, which is the payments. We've all been a part when you've gone together as a group to pay for something, and there's always one person who has to pay for it, and you always have to hunt around to get everyone else to pay you the money. The app will actually take care of the payments. When you sign up, you will register your credit card or debit card, and it will. Yeah, question.
How does this differ from family plans already offered by the carriers?
Yeah, so this doesn't offer a family plan. This is simply a solution where you will locate other people who are willing to share a family plan with you. So what the app could do is that it could work close together with the different service providers, or it could work alone, and this will essentially will bring more customers to the different service providers.
In today's market, we're seeing a lot more pay-as-you-go plans and stuff like that. How do you see that impacting this idea of the whole family or friend plan?
To be honest, I actually haven't given much thought to that. Yeah, so I actually looked into that a little bit. Either you can go with unlimited plans or you can have a certain amount. So every user, if you would only have a set amount of gigabytes that you can use each month, every user would just get that certain amount of gigabyte to use, and then they can't go over that. And for the payments, what I thought would be a good idea is that every user who entered the plan has to pay a secure deposit in the form of 1 monthly payment. So if that user doesn't pay that month, the app actually covers the payments for that person in the plan with that monthly allowance. And if that person doesn't fill up that balance again after, he will be kicked out of the plan and another person will come in and take his spot.
Or is there any benefit to the cell phone provider themselves?
Yeah, it could be. So that's what I've been thinking. If they would like to partner with the different cell phone providers, the cell phone providers would, what I believe, actually gain more customers, because customers would save money, so more customers would come to that cell phone provider if they would provide this service where you can locate other people to share a plan.
All right, so we have, for the next group, Never Refuse to Reuse, presented by Max Kerwin, Casey Geyer, Morgan Schmidt, Dade Follett, and they are business administration majors and first-year students.
Hello, my name is Morgan Schmidt.
I'm Max Kerwin.
And we are Team Nurture.
Never refuse to reuse, NRTR.
So I'm going to begin by sharing a study that was conducted at Tufts University. They concluded that there is over 240 tons of waste every year. What they classified as waste is items that are thrown away or gotten rid of that still have a practical use.
And similarly to this, we know as freshmen moving on to a college campus that it's really easy to forget some of the stuff that you might want to bring with you at home. These things could be electronics like mini fridges, microwaves, TVs, or it could be any kind of furniture such as couches or chairs. Basically anything that could make your life at Plymouth a little more comfortable.
So we understand that this may not be a new concept. So we've been looking at a proposition that has been taking place on the campus of UNH. There's been a lot of successes with what they've done. One thing that we're going to do to make our idea unique is we're going to partner with community organizations and businesses such as Ladders and Flippin' Furniture. And the goal is to create more of a balanced community between the organizations and the students of Plymouth State University.
So we plan to do this by, at the end of every school year, we're going to have a collection day where we can take any kind of those donations I mentioned a minute ago, and then we will hold it over the summer, maybe fix it up a little bit if it's not 100%, and sell it to the returning students and new students of Plymouth State University.
So Nurture begins tonight. We need your help to make Nurture a long-lasting initiative at Plymouth State University. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate this great idea. We do have a Give It Forward program on campus whereby our college students, after they have packed up their rooms, can leave behind anything that they don't want to take with them. And actually, that is either donated to Ladders or other community thrift stores throughout our community, as well as the Student Support Foundation Pantry. Would you be open to partnering with this initiative that is currently happening on campus? And if so, please reach out to our office.
Absolutely. Thank you for the criticism, or for the critique. So
it's not a critique.
No,
I really love what you're doing,
you
and
know?
I would love to partner with you.
So one reason that we kind of came up with this idea is in our social entrepreneurship class, we're tasked with having to log community hours. So we figured that any way to get the students involved in any initiative on campus would be very beneficial to the students to get those hours for that class, but also if we can make a difference in the community, it would go a long way. So absolutely.
I love it. Thank you. Please give me your business card right after that.
Storage. Where would you store? What would that cost? What would that plan be?
Well, we kind of had an interesting idea for storage where we were hoping if we were able to partner with any groups, we might be able to take advantage of their storage facilities. And then we would be willing to give a percentage of our profits to them at the end of the year, whatever we make, you know, just kind of a help each other out kind of deal.
Another thing to add to that is with this partnership, we'd also be open to the idea is Flippin' Furniture. They have so much product that they're looking to sell to the community, and they may not have the connection on campus that we do. So we, in return for storing our product and items, we would be able to sell some of their product for them on campus on the move-in day. So that'd be another option that we'd look to explore.
Morgan, you're a great speaker, and you guys have a lot of personality, and I think you should make a song to like sell your idea.
Well, if you have any lyric suggestions, we will be taking those after.
Casey's SoundCloud is pretty good. Any more questions? Thank you guys for judging us.
All right, our next pitch is by Will Johnstone, a business administration major and a junior. He'll be pitching a solar charged LED slideshow advertising board. Will.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Will Johnstone, and I'm a junior business major here at Plymouth, and I'm also the owner of WTJ Landscaping, LLC. So all the time that I spend working my business, I'm also thinking about how I can improve my business or the industry. And the problem with my business is I spend a lot of time in my truck driving to different job sites, and or I'm on the job site for most of the day, and so I at least get to think about some improvements I can make. And one recent strategy that I've been thinking of was improving some advertising and how I could get some better advertising for my business. You see a lot of contractors drive around with a truck or trailer, and they have their name and phone number on it, and that's great. But I think a lot of people kind of disregard that a little bit and just kind of see it. So what I've kind of been thinking is use that space that you have with your truck and your huge trailer, and put a big billboard advertising board right on it, and it could display a slideshow of different services you provide. It could be promotional products. And this could scale up to as big as a company like Walmart with a tractor trailer going down the highway. They could be promoting Black Friday deals or things like that. And it could scale all the way down to a company like myself, where I could, be advertising seasonal services like leaf cleanups or aerations. And so I just think that this would be a good idea to use the space that you have on the road, because I'm on the road, majority of the day. So while I'm out there and I can't be putting up a social media ad, I can be out there advertising while I'm on the road. Thank you very much.
So I was curious, of course you see the magnets people throw on their side of their truck all the time. It seems to be a cheaper solution. How much would this actually cost somebody to install it, and then once they do have it, kind of maintaining it thereafter?
Yeah, so this was actually a pretty recent idea. I haven't done a whole lot of research on this. Obviously, being LED and solar charged, it would be a little bit more expensive than a magnet, but you oftentimes see those magnets, they fold and they get really dirty easily, and they're pretty. You can get bigger ones, but oftentimes you just see them on a car door, and when you're going 40 miles an hour down the road, you're not going to see that. But if you see a 12-foot enclosed trailer with a billboard on the side of it displaying a video of you doing your work, or a product or a before and after picture of some of your work, that'll intrigue people a little bit more, I think.
So this mobile unit it's actually moving with the billboard, with the so you're talking about on the road?
Yeah, so like I have a pickup truck with an enclosed trailer that I have all my equipment inside of, and this would be mounted onto the side of the trailer like a billboard you see in a city, obviously to fit. They'd be custom to your vehicle and equipment, and so it would be mounted right on, and you could customize your display, whether it's pictures or videos.
Have you thought of the safety?
I haven't thought of safety a whole lot. It would be pretty slim right on. They would be slim designed right onto the side of the trailer. They wouldn't be sticking far out.
For the person that's driving next to you looking at it and not the road.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, it's the same thing as people looking at still advertisements on. You look at a Walmart truck. You're driving by the Walmart truck. You're almost guaranteed to look over and see what's on the tractor trailer. So I don't think it's going to change much as to what's going on right now.
That was my question, the safety question, because it seems like it might be. I love the idea, but it with a video type, it would be a big distraction on the road, and so you would probably have to look into state legislation on Department of Transportation and things like that.
Yeah, like I say, this is a relatively recent idea, and I was obviously going to dive a lot more into it. I just think of like you're driving through the city and you see the billboards and they scroll their advertisements every couple of seconds. This would be a similar thing, but it would be applicable to a small business where they could apply their services and more than just their company name and their phone number.
Great idea. Yep, and if you win today, what do you use the money for?
So as I've said a couple times, it's a recent idea, so I want to use the money to start doing some research on what's out there, and then getting into some. I'd probably go to a sign company first, and
Our next group of the night is a Millionaire game for kids presented by Kyle Lavoie, James Drew, Peter Clune, Tim Maholand, Shmar Francis. They're all innovation and entrepreneurship students and first years here. Just one moment while they finish collecting those. Do you want me to take those out for you? Pass these around. All right, you can begin.
Financial literacy. It's a very important skill for all adults. But what about kids? We're not born adults. The problem with trying to educate kids on financial literacy, though, is that if you try to talk about assets, liabilities, and expenses, absolutely fall asleep. So what we're trying to do is make it fun, make it entertaining. So we made a Pirate Millionaire card game. Now, what this game does is it's based off of a real financial statement in the sense that it incorporates the income, expenses, liabilities, assets in the form of more piratey things. So instead of investing in real estate, which to a kid that's absolutely boring, you will invest in treasure hunters, which are these massive ships that will go to places that will bring you gold coins every turn and increase in value so you can sell them for a profit later. Instead of buying like cars that will depreciate, all this kind of stuff, you can buy these defensive items to protect you from rogue pirates, krakens, all this kind of exciting things. It's something that we really believe is a hallmark in trying to educate the youth in financial literacy by making it enjoyable, by making it entertaining. So what we're doing is creating a prototype, which is a physical card game that you can play. But that's only the prototype. What we really want to do is make that into a digital application that anybody could buy for free. And the way we would make money from it would be simple ads, and with that we could have it accessible by any person who would have a phone, a tablet, making it accessible to as many children as possible, ensuring their financial success in the future. Is there anything you guys want to add? Thank you very much.
Is this something that teachers would use, or students or children would just choose to play it on their own?
We want to make it so that it could go both ways. So teachers could definitely introduce them to the application, and you could play it inside the classroom, because we have based the game on real financial ideas that could be really fun. So like for a day, a teacher could say, hey, we're all going to play Pirate Millionaire for the day. And I want the class to everyone in the class to just say, yes, this is awesome. But also take that game home and say, Mommy, can we get Pirate Millionaire, please?
Go ahead. Well, you said you were going to be doing ads for marketing.
Yes.
So if it's kids playing, you're going to be marketing to the kids?
Yes. So basically, throughout the application itself, what we want to develop is, so if you've ever played something like Clash of Clans or Asphalt 8, there's always some either pop-up ads or small banners at the bottom or so that kind of just go throughout the game. It doesn't distract you, but it's still there.
And what is the age range? Did you mention that?
It's about 8 to 12, so late elementary school to early middle school. But if anybody else wanted to play it, they're more than welcome to.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
As far as competition, if you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, he's got a game called, I think it's Rat Race, similar concept, financial literacy for kids.
Yeah.
Monopoly, obviously, being another one.
Yep, absolutely.
How much competition is there in are there games? Are they actual games? Because Monopoly is the real estate related, and you said
Yes.
kids don't really want to talk about that. But
yeah. I would say that there are areas of competition specifically for what we are doing, as in a pirate card game where you invest in these big ships and then try to defend them from any outside events that happen. We haven't found that specifically, but we have seen Robert Kiyosaki's Rat Race and then Monopoly. But we do feel as a card game and as a digital application, it definitely has a unique touch to it. Are there any other questions? Be happy to answer.
Have you made this game yet? The cards itself?
We have done all of the kind of logistics, kind of designed the cards and figured out what cards are which. I'm in the process of kind of like transferring them to note cards to kind of play the game myself to make sure that all of the numbers, everything like that is correct and all figured out. And then later on, we're going to actually print out the cards, knowing everything, and kind of have it tested by children in the demographic group.
Have you figured out an in-app purchase for the app?
No, we have not figured that out yet. Right now, we are mainly focused on trying to make sure that the game itself is as good as possible, and then we'll focus on later in-app purchasing stuff. But it's definitely something we want to go into. Thank you very much.
All right, our last pitch of the night is brought to you by our Freight Farm team here, Noah Fisk, a communication studies major and a sophomore, and Morgan Schmidt, an innovation and entrepreneurship major, first-year student. Just one moment while they collect the rest of the sheets. All right, you may begin.
Hi, I'm Noah Fisk, and I was wondering, who knows what this is? For those of you who don't, this is bok choy. This came all the way from Texas. That means it's traveled nearly 2,000 miles to be here today. That's a whole lot of CO2 emissions and drives up the price due to transportation. This costs about $4 per pound at Walmart. Now we can grow this right here in Plymouth, reducing the cost and lowering CO2 emissions. It also solves another huge problem, which is food deserts. A food desert is when you have to travel 10 or more miles to get a fresh fruit and vegetable. That's not just a problem through all of New Hampshire, it's a problem right here in Plymouth.
Hello again, my name is Morgan Schmidt. I hope you're not confused yet. This is PSU Freight Farm. Freight Farm essentially is an upcycled shipping container that can produce up to 4,500 leafy greens a month, and it is comprised and constructed of a unique and proprietary hydroponics growing system. All of this can be controlled by an app. Noah, tell them about the app.
Sure thing. So our app allows us to control lighting, water, temperature, and nutrient levels, all from the touch of a button in the comfort of your dorm room. This means we don't have to have people going there, measuring out the water and nutrients, so there's no error. It's pretty much idiot-proof. So the other great advantage is we are a college. We have Chartwell's, a huge food provider for us. So we can sell to them while promoting healthy living here on campus, and the rest can be sold to local businesses and local residents. This will be a highly profitable business.
This is much more than a social proposition to PSU. This is something that Noah and I want to be here for years after we have graduated. We want alumni to come to this campus, see our PSU Freight Farm, and they want to be, and we're going to have them be proud of it. We need your help tonight to bring PSU Freight Farm here to Plymouth so it can be sustainable for years to come. Thank you.
What are the costs associated with building the freight farm, and what kind of return do you think you could see?
Okay, so it is fairly, it costs quite a bit of money. We predict around $122,000 to do this, and we are doing crowdfunding, but we've also reached out. We are applying for local and federal grants, and we've also sent out applications to a bunch of local banks in the area to as well raise money. So we would use this money from winning to help fund media campaigns, transportation to and from banks, as well as meeting with local businessmen as well to further this business. Everything. So that also covers training for everyone too, and this can employ up to 10 people, and we've had accountants look over this, and they agree that this can make, after 1 year, $47,000 after all expenses paid. We'll walk away with $47,000 in profit.
And this is a product that already has proven success at other college campuses. We're looking to bring it here to PSU.
Is it a self-contained unit?
Yes, it is.
Where would you
There's quite a few open spaces here on Plymouth that we actually have been looking at. One of them is, I believe it was right behind the police station over in that area was a potential area, as well as near, I don't know if you guys know Statement, there's possibility over near Matt's area of Statement.
This is all 25 yards right from the dining hall. So the food freshness is the guaranteed best.
Have you looked into some of the regulations from USGA in terms of food grade and food transportation and any issues there?
So this is something that we're still going to look at, but this is something that we're also selling to, as Noah mentioned, the dining hall provider, Sedesco, I believe.
Chartwell's now.
Chartwell's, thank you, appreciate it. And this is something that we believe that we would look for them to help guide us upon this, because this is something that would be at PSU. I don't know, so I guess I don't have an answer to that question.
You said that this is already being used on other campuses?
Yes,
so can you talk a little bit about the experience?
So the other campuses have been very successful with this, and they found it really great. Our last food provider, Sedexo, actually told us that they have other colleges doing this, and they love it, and they are buying their produce. So we believe that we can do this. And interest, when Chartwells came here to place bids, we did get interest expressed in purchasing their produce from us.
More specifically, Clark University is the one that we're in close contact with. Any other questions?
Are there any local farms that you have spoken with about this to see if they're doing anything similar?
Yeah, so from what we know, there's no local farm doing that, and I do want to raise the point of competing with them. Our plan is to shut down during summer months when they are growing and hold workshops, so that way we don't compete and cost farmers in the area to lose money.
We're a community. We build around each other, and
Great. Thank you. Thank you to all of our finalists for taking the time to put really deep thought into these amazing ideas. Now, before we move forward to the People's Choice, I would like to give a recognition and thank you to 5 very important, inspiring entrepreneurs that have helped our Enactus team make this event successful, grow our projects, and help our team reach regional and national competitions. Please come up as I call your name in recognition. Bonnie Bayshard, our Enactus advisor, founder, and huge inspiration to our team. Eric Spieth, who joined our Plymouth community a few years ago and has helped us with enthusiasm, inspiration, and a great entrepreneurial mind. Eric Spieth, please come up and be recognized. Howard Frederick, another new entrepreneur to our team, all the way from Mexico. Thank you for all of your help, great ideas, and our new launch to some great projects. I'd like to recognize Jennifer DeMorris, a new member to our Enactus team, already a huge part of our family, bringing her expertise from small business, entrepreneurship, and helping our team set up this event and grow our projects. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Denise Hutchins, who has helped our team along the way as well, popping into meetings and helping with great ideas for our projects. Denise, stand up. Woo. Thank you all so much for your hard work and helping us be a successful entrepreneurship organization on campus. Now, here's the fun part. We get to do the People's Choice Award. We have a new way of doing it this year. Instead of the volume clapping, we're going to be texting in. So if you take your pamphlet here, there will be a text, all caps, Panther Pitch 489. You want to text that to the number 22333. It is on the pamphlet here. Text Panther Pitch to that number, and then it will prompt you to put in a letter. If you look in your brochure, each of the finalists have a letter A through N next to them. So text in your favorite idea. Everyone may participate. Diesel. And you have 1 to 2 minutes to text in your idea, and then we will reveal the winner of People's Choice. Or do we do that after? We'll do it all together when we announce the winners of the competition. All right. Tell me when you're done. 30 seconds to text in your answer. Does anyone need any help? Does everybody understand how it works? No? Is it prompting everyone to put in a letter? Is it working? It says it's received the maximum responses.
Okay. So then let's close the polls.
Yeah. Why? Do you know why it's doing that? Yeah, it's full. So do we want to do that? How many do we allow? Do we want to do a bonus thing? All right, technical difficulties. Hold on. Hey, just kidding. We're going to do the sound off, the clapping instead. Apparently it capped it for some reason, some technical issue. But I will. Do we have a volume thing? Ben, do you still have a volume thing on your phone? No. All right, we'll do it to our best ability. Yeah, you want to do hands? Hands? All right. Old school. Yeah, old school vote. So then we'll just mark them. The Achilles flip-flop. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 10. All right. The microphone boom pole. Yeah. 1, 2, 6. Just one. The remote operating vehicle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Freshwater wells. 1. Bar radar social media app. 6. All right. Panther Pitch for high school students. Disposable pillowcase for small animals. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Specialized restaurant menu. All right. Addiction recovery app. 1, 2, 3, 15. All right. app to share a mobile plan. Never refuse to reuse. Right. Solar charged LED slideshow advertising boards. The Pirate Millionaire game for kids. And Freight Farm. All right. Thank you all. I'm sorry that our technology didn't work out. We will improve that for next year. At this point in time, we have some closing remarks before we announce the winners of the competition. So Eric Spieth with the closing remarks for us, please.
You go ahead and keep that. I think is it fine with audio if I just use my teaching voice? Perfect. So the first thing I'd like to do is let's give a round of applause for our presenters. And let's keep in mind that at least a third of the people you saw were first year here at Plymouth State. If not, raise your hand if you presented in your first year. It's the entire back row. It's at least 50%. What I'd like to start to do, I've been involved with, well, let me start. Enactus has been, this is its 5th year. In fact, there are some, you guys were part of the first ESU Enactus, right? So let's recognize our eldest Enactus alumni. And so I showed up right at the tail end of when Ben and the team were coming back from the Carrying Scoops. It wasn't even called Carrying Scoops at that point. It was the Ice Cream Project, something like that. And so they were just coming back from winning the regional championships and had also got invited to the national championships. And unfortunately, they were having too much fun. Most of the team was seniors, and they decided to, well, we could go to the nationals, but we'll save it for the next team. So Kylie Hershey, could I get Kylie up here? Oh, they're counting votes. The team carried it on, and it became our first legacy project with Enactus. So remember that all of the projects that we do are student-driven. And so they come up with these great ideas. The Ice Cream Project, Carrying Scoops, is in partnership with the Common Man Restaurant. And they make the ice cream for us, and then we sell it, right? And so our job is to figure out what to do. And so the beneficiaries of that are the Bridge House and specifically homeless veterans. So keep in mind that Enactus is entrepreneurial action for us, and that we are all social entrepreneurs. And so we're focused on building community. We just got back from, we won the regionals again this year, and we were sent to the national championships in Kansas City, where we took a team of, I think, 8 or 10. And in the previous times that we've gone to, we went one other time to the national championships and made it through, we got knocked out in the first round. Well, this time we progressed, and we made it into the top 32 teams in America after 457 teams in the nation, right? So in the nation, we were one of the top 32 teams, which I heard, I went, I helped coach them. I told them before you guys go up and present, say, I am excited because the neurological process that's going in your body when you're nervous is very similar to the adrenaline you get when you're excited. And so if you just tell yourselves, right, and I think some of the winning teams probably said that to themselves tonight before they came up, I am excited. And so they did that, and they ended up finishing very well. So our goal for this year is to once again win our regionals, get sent to the nationals, and then I'd like to do better than finishing in the top 32. How does that sound? Sounds great. So I think Eric mentioned that our chapter is growing this year, and so we had about 60 registered. Are you guys already ready? I'm just getting warmed up. Really? Did this feel like filler to you guys? I was just getting to the heart of the story. Can I have one more moment? Okay. So all of you have heard that we're doing a transformation to clusters and cluster projects. And what you saw tonight was the essence of cluster projects. The participants in the Panther Pitch aren't just from business. They're from disciplines from across the campus, right? And so they had approximately 3 weeks to a month to prepare and to enter this competition. And you're seeing people from computer science, people from biology, anthropology, so impressive. And 100% of the participants tonight, brought so much energy and passion. And that is the candle that we want to light with Panther Pitch, is that first interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary event that truly embraces any discipline, any major. And so towards that, in the business department, we've been designing courses that are all focused on social entrepreneurship. So we have a course called Social Entrepreneurship 2, which does our Climate Above Addiction program, which we described earlier, which had a goal of raising $5,000 in donations, raised $7,000 in roughly a week, right? Pretty impressive for small New Hampshire. We're starting a new program, which is the man behind the video camera is Howard Frederick. He's in his second year here at Plymouth State. We brought him on board because he is one of the world's authorities on entrepreneurship, and particularly social entrepreneurship. He's designing a program called TIDE, which is Transformative Innovation and Design Entrepreneurship. It's a full entrepreneurial curriculum that we are currently putting through curriculum review. One of the test courses that we're beta testing in the spring is called Foundations of Entrepreneurships, which one highlight would be Yankee Ingenuity. There are plenty of other classes on here. I've got the CRNs written down. It's all focused on social entrepreneurship. How many of you still have room on your schedule in the spring? I've got one of these to hand out. Now, could you hand these out to everyone in the room, please? Or just pass them down, one at a time. Boop, boop, boop. And I'm sorry, I need to go and act as uprasim, so we may serve.
Okay, I have the honor of presenting the third place award here, and I'll give it away if I don't turn it around. So the third place award for tonight is the Disposable Pillow app, Brianna Warnick. That was Disposable Pillowcase. Pillowcase.
The second place winner of the 2018 Panther Pitch goes to Molly Timmons.
right, guys, so that brings us to our last award of the evening. Are we ready for this? All right, so the grand prize winner for tonight, taking home $1,500 for their project. Here we go, are we ready? This year's winner is Freight Farm. And that is the team of Noah Fisk and Morgan Schmidt. Congratulations, guys.
All right, this officially ends our program for tonight. Thank you all so much for being a part of the 3rd annual Panther Pitch. We hope to see you back next year for another amazing competition. Thank you to our judges, our faculty members, students, alum. Thank you for coming tonight and have a great evening. They're all. Yeah, he has one. He has this.
Next to the
Thank you, Myla. You're welcome. I kept them nice and safe under my